I love Shark Tank. I think it's a great show. You know, a friend of mine in Cleveland works at a major startup like group, and he hates Shark Tank. I love it because I think it gives people an idea of what investors are looking for. Yeah. So my favorite shark is Lori Greiner and Damon John and Robert Herjavec. I actually don't like Mark Cuban very much, and I can't stand Kevin O'Leary.
Really?
Yeah, and the reason I can't stand Kevin O'Leary is probably because of I liked him until I started to see the things he said outside of Shark Tank. I don't think they were meshing very well.
Yeah.
So
I can understand that.
Yeah, so we're going to watch a video now that I saw on Instagram. I sent it to Mo and Tim, and I said, hey, I want to do a video on this. Now, it's a very short video, but it has to do with a lot of ways in which I view people's words versus their actions. So let's watch this video. It's from Instagram, and it's Kevin O'Leary. And let me...
Ever disrespect money, you won't have it. It's karma. Every dollar I make, I kill myself to make it, and I don't want to lose it. I cry like a baby.
That didn't work out very well.
The other day, I realized I forgot when I flew back from Dubai that I didn't have my frequent flyer number on that ticket. And I lost like $400. So I spent 2 hours calling the airline saying, I want my ticket back. I want my ticket back. I'm crazy that way. I want value. Every single dollar is hard to make. And if you don't respect it, you're going to lose it. I don't waste money. If you ever...
Okay. So first off, my first comment's going to be, I can't stand it when I hear wealthy people say this. It's like they're trying to act like they're such like, Warren Buffett talks about how he doesn't waste money, but he admits when he does waste money, he's like, yeah, my jet's an absolute waste of money. But he has a flip phone. He has used car. He drives a car for like 5-6 years. He puts his money where his mouth is. Kevin O'Leary has an amazing watch collection. Kevin O'Leary says, I kill myself to make my money. And if I even lose $10, I'm crying. So Kevin, how are you feeling about FTX now?
Yeah, and
if you're crying about $10, how do you feel about $15 million?
So it's not even just that. It's the fact that he said that he's going to go and reinvest in crypto in some capacity.
But he said in there, I know value. I care about value. No, you don't, Kevin.
No, you don't. If
you don't care about value, because if you cared, and that's the thing that bothers me. On the Shark Tank, he looks at cash flow. He's like, where's the cash flow? Hey, Kevin, where's the cash flow in crypto?
Right.
Where's the understanding of crypto? So this goes back to something I used to say. I started saying it 10 years ago. I found that the worst investors were also the ones who bragged the most about getting good deals on cars. Oh, Paul, I did my research. I did days and days of research, and I found this car that had a great deal on it. What'd you spend? $29,500. Oh.
What was it listed at? 30.
Yeah, it's like, oh, cool. You know, when I worked in the automotive industry for 1 year, and I remember good friend of mine still, my boss said to me, a good deal is peace of mind. And that's what it is. Yeah. And I said to my father once, I almost want to pay full asking price for every car I buy, just to show how stupid it is that when you're trying to save $5 million and you're so excited about saving $500 on a car, but yet you give your money to a financial advisor who's going to charge you 1% per year and not beat the market, costing you 2% per year. And then over a 30 or 40 year period of time, it's 7 figures. Congratulations. You buy 10 cars in your lifetime and you saved 10 grand, but you wouldn't give a financial planner, 7 figures of your money. Who's really the smart one here? Yeah. Guys, be consistent about it. If you really value your dollars, do your research. And what does that research mean? It doesn't mean that you go up there and read on the internet what's going on with a certain investment. It means you actually understand what you're buying. We've been saying crypto's a scam for how long, Mo?
Oh, more than 2 years?
Since the date started.
Since I've heard of it.
Since I've heard of it, I was like, well, what is this? This is nothing. This doesn't mean anything to me. Look at NFTs.
Those are gone.
What have we heard about NFTs?
I haven't heard anything about an NFT since.
The only thing I heard about NFT was the first NFT, the first tweet from, it sold for 2.9, and then they had a hard time getting even like $1,000 for it.
I've heard about Justin Bieber's NFT in some capacity. He paid like $1.5, can't get $150 for it or something.
Congratulations.
So those are NFTs. So those stuck around for a while.
Now, does that mean we're not going to make mistakes in investing? Absolutely, we're going to make mistakes. We just did a video about Berkshire Hathaway. And Berkshire Hathaway has trailed the market many times in history. Everybody thinks they always beat. They don't always beat. But if you have the right process, you will win. Cryptocurrency looked really good for a long time. Now, Binance CEO, who's one that criticized SBF like crazy, he's getting accused of money laundering now.
So it went, Voyager is the top dog, the adult in the room. Then it went to, SBF is going to come and bail him out with FTX. And then that happened. And now the Binance guy, CZ, he's the adult in the room. And now they're saying this is money laundering. So who's next? Who's the next excuse?
That to me is what I look for in an investor. Show me your thought process. When I hear Kevin O'Leary sit there, he's just trying to sound like he's like, oh, but yet he has bottles of wine. By the way, more power to him on the bottles of wine. He's a major wine snob. I don't criticize that, but you can't tell me that you cry over losing $10 and you spend $3,000 on a bottle of wine.
Yeah.
I don't cry over losing $10. Do I get upset sometimes if I spent something? I'm like, oh, you idiot. Yeah, but I don't sit there and go out there trying to say, oh, look at me, I'm this amazing person. Because I found my personal experiences, the louder you talk about that, the worse your investment decisions. Yeah. Because you're so concerned about your image of it as opposed to the right results. He's so concerned about his image that it's more important to him that his image look good. And guess what? In order to be a really great investor, your image is probably going to be bad at all times. Look at this. When stocks are going up like this and you're not buying, you look stupid. When stocks are falling like this and you are buying, you look stupid. Case in point, has anybody talk to us about BABA, Meta, HPQ, Intel, all these companies that people criticize us for? When they were going up and we weren't buying them though, people were like, God, you're stupid for not buying them. So which one is it?
Yeah.
Which one is it?
Stupid for not buying or stupid for buying?
And that's the hard part about being a value investor. You have to always appear wrong because in order to be a value investor, you have to go against the grain. And when I say against the grain, it's not just this typical like, oh, I think differently. Like I was on a board of some talk and some guy was bragging about how he thinks differently and goes to markets that people aren't in for real estate. His top holdings were in New York City, Miami, and Atlanta, Georgia. And I said, what part of those are not desirable? No, I'm in areas of those cities that nobody wants to be in. Got it. I lose respect for that. That to me is the Kevin O'Leary of the real estate world. So I look at Kevin O'Leary and he just lost a $15 million endorsement.
Yeah, and I also rewatched the video on silent here because it had words on it. He said he spent 2 hours trying to get $400 back from. And I mean, to me, I'm like, why didn't you just spend those 2 hours researching what the hell this is?
You would have gotten your $400 back in 2 seconds.
Exactly.
It's funny because I think about that now. I think about these things all the time saying, what's the best use of my time here?
Is this the best use of the time for a billionaire?
He's not a billionaire.
I thought he was.
No, he's not a billionaire.
Either way, somebody with hundreds of millions of dollars.
If you have $10 million, like, listen,
crazy.
Go have your assistant call.
Exactly.
You have an assistant. Go have your $30 an hour assistant call. That's it. Just go, hey, you need to handle this for me. And they say, well, I need you on the phone. Hey, is your assistant male? Great. Hi, I'm Kevin O'Leary. Like, I mean, come on. This is ridiculous. So, guys, always look at people's actions, not just their words, right? That's a big thing. On our channel, when I say things, I'm doing them. And if I change, there's usually a good reason for it, not just because of some whimsical market thing, right? That's the whole point here. So this makes sense to you. And again, Kevin O'Leary is clearly a successful business person, but being a good business person does not make you a good investor. These rich people are still stupid with their analysis. I remember watching a video of him talking about FTX. Oh, I did my research on them. What research did you do?
Clearly it didn't. Or you researched the wrong thing.
Just because you look up something doesn't mean you researched it.
Yeah, I'm gonna research Binance right now, and I'm gonna be able to tell you everything that's gonna happen in court.
That's the thing. People are gonna say that. So guys, it is a criticism. I get that, but it's what I'm trying to teach you about words versus actions. The unfortunate part is a rising tide raises all ships. We only know who's naked when the what's the statement? We only know who's naked when the tide returns. That's the point. We're starting to see who's naked out there. The people who can sit there and talk like, I did research, stock goes up. See, I was right. I still remember the first time somebody ever talked to me about research, 1999, 2000. I researched GE for eight months before I bought it. How's it done since then? Like, what do you research? I'm not saying he's always going to be right, but I could tell immediately he's a salesperson. He can't possibly do the research he wants to do because his goal is to look good. And it's better to say, I researched for 8 months than it is to say, listen.
It's the same concept. When I was in school, people would say, well, I studied for 8 hours last night. Did you? Or did you just sit there and study for one and waste your time?
I worked for 12 hours. Well, you sat at your desk. I got emails from you that were personal emails. I got texts from you. Yeah. I got Instagram posts from you. So did you really work for 12 hours or did you sit behind your desk for 12 hours? Right. Talk is cheap. Guys, if this makes sense to you, subscribe to the channel. Trust me, I'm willing to call people out on their BS. Thank you.